Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Roundtable on the People's Daily OGTV. Yeah, you know that before we begin the program, even my guest was saying that, okay, this is a roundtable, the table is not round. So I was trying to explain that what makes it a roundtable is the topic we discussed on this show and exactly what we're going to do today. You know, when it comes to environment, urban renewal, planning, and everything that has to do with our daily living. We have some people that are in charge of that because these are the things that are very important for us if we want to live well in a particular society. So today we're focusing on the achievements of this particular ministry. Yes, that is physical planning and urban renewal. That's what we're going to, urban development in Ogun State. And you know, I have the key figure here. Who am I talking about? Well, I'll not unveil my guest now until after the break. Doyinsola Ogunbadewa is my name. I'll only tell you not to miss this show. And prepare your question because you can also contribute. You can comment and also make your submission. Just go along with us on this show this morning. We'll go for a quick break. I'll be right back.
So as for urban renewal, as we can see, the government of today is really doing much pertaining to urban renewal. As you can see, the governor is giving the state the facelift. The state is having a good facelift now. You go to Kuto, you see the stadium, the way it looks now. Nobody will see that and will not know this state is standard. If you are coming from Lagos, definitely you will see the renovation and everything that was done there. And to housing estate, if you go to Ibarra, you see that the structure there before, it's something we cannot talk about because it's not befitting. And you can see that they have allocated the place to people, government built, private people built, to the taste of, to a standard taste. They gave them a taste, a standard, that this is the way we want this area to look like. And those are the things we will see as development in the state. And all across the three senatorial districts in Ogun State, you will see that housing estate and facelift of every area is going on. I can give kudos to the governor for that. So, and it's making sense.
Maybe you're right. I think this is the first time we'll be having the round peg in the round hole. That is a professional manning that ministry. And that has really helped the state government a lot. That is the person that is there, that is saddled with that responsibility, being the commissioner of that ministry, is a professional town and regional planner himself. And that is why we are seeing what you are seeing today. Unlike before, that you can easily work to them, change whatever that have been approved. It is not like that again. I once visited him. There was a time we wanted to have a church in a place, and he told us blank that it was not part of the plan initially at the inception, and it can't have it there. And that's a very principled person, a professional. And that is why I can say authoritatively that that ministry is really working for now. By nature of we Nigerians, we want to do things on our way, on our own. But I want to tell you, in the past few months from now, attitude changing seriously. Applying. Everybody has seen the need for us to do the right thing, and they are following that. To confirm this, you see the volume, the quantum of waste that you can see around the city now, that's reduced critically. And that's to confirm that people are really complying.
We all use that.
You've heard one of the respondents there talking about the achievements of this ministry that we're going to talk about today under Governor Dapo Abiodun's administration, at least in the past 2 years. And what are we talking about? I mentioned it earlier that we're talking about urban renewal development under Governor Dapo Abiodun's administration. And I have the key figure in the ministry that you cannot just do anything in that ministry without this person attesting to it, putting his signature. And as you know, that on this program, we'll put a round peg in the round hole. So he is here this morning. And who am I talking about? Someone of great repute, and he has been a great person when we talk about development initiatives, promoting sustainable planning, and collaborating between government and private sector when it comes to urban planning. And that is Town Planner Tunji Odolami, the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development in Ogun State. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Ogun State citizens.
Not just Ogun State citizens that are watching, no. People are watching all over because we are over the social media. Okay, sir, let's just get the program started. Now, we're talking about what has been done by this ministry in the past 2 years under this administration. How far can you say you've performed under this administration?
Well, thank you. How far have we performed?
Yeah,
well,
in the ministry.
For me, I would say 100%. But we leave the judgment to those who are.
If it is 100%, that should be seen everywhere.
Yeah, it depends on what you are looking at or you are looking for.
Okay, what should we look for?
But the evidences are there. Okay, let me start by addressing your question headlong.
Okay.
In the last 2 years, a lot has been done, even before the past 2 years under this administration. It's been a focused intervention in urban systems, urban rejuvenation, urban development in Ogun State. Hitherto, that is before this administration, it has been topsy-turvy, so to say. As I have said in other forum, when the governor was campaigning to be elected, as he was moving around, he saw the squalor, the haphazard development that was the bane of Ogun State. And he made up his mind that something must change. So when he became the governor, one of the priorities that he set for himself is to reverse the seemingly unplanned nature of development in Ogun State. And one of the things he did immediately was the creation of new agencies in the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Okay.
Before then, that ministry was being called Ministry of Urban and Physical Development. But when it came, because of structural realignment, changes in policies, and a decision to create key component agencies that are specialists in the various areas. So the name was changed to Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. And under that, 3 agencies were created. The first is the Ogun State Planning and Development Permit Authority. The second is the Ogun State Building Production Management Authority. And the third is the Ogun State Slum Regeneration Authority.
Okay, let's pick them one after the other. Those 3 ministries, or are they agencies?
They are authority
now?
agencies, yes,
okay,
of the ministry.
You have mentioned, I want us to break it down. What do they do?
Okay, what do they do? Let me start with the ministry. The ministry is actually the policy organ of that ministry. That is where policies on physical planning, urban development, urban regeneration, that's where the policies come from. So these 3 agencies are actually implementing agencies. They implement the policies of the ministry. Now, the policies of the ministry are policies of the state government concerning that subject matter: urban development, urban regeneration, slum upgrade, and all whatnot. Now, the first agency I mentioned is the Ogun State Planning and Development Permit Authority. That agency was set up specifically to grant what we call planning permit. That is what some people call building approval. Now, why did we have to do that? Before this administration, it used to take ages to get a building permit or planning permit, months and months and months. And what does what does that do? That creates problems for those who want to develop. That means they cannot develop on time. And you know, if you have money to spend on an item and you don't spend that money on time, that money will go. So you find people, ending up not being able to do the project they wanted to do because the approval was not coming. For many of them who didn't want to fall foul of the law, they stayed, and by so doing, sometimes inflation will come, the price of cement will go up, the price of iron rod will go up, some of them will not be able to do the building. And those who took the risk of building without permit, which was actually very dangerous. So, and of course, when it comes to big investments, like new industries, new investments in Ogun State, it was discouraging. Because if an investor was bringing his money and it was taking ages to get the permit, the investor would go somewhere else.
Could be discouraged.
And that's a loss to the state because no new factories will be built, people will not be employed, the economy of the state will be affected negatively. So the governor said, look, go and look at this. And so we created that agency to deal specifically with giving approvals or planning permits to people so that they can go and build on time, so that the economy of the state will develop. The second one is the Ogun State Building Production Management Authority. Now, that authority was set up specifically to ensure that the houses or structures built in Ogun State are built in a very good manner. They are built according to specifications. Good materials and tested materials are used so that we will begin to build more resilient, better buildings in Ogun State, and generally to prevent building collapse. Because if you don't build a house the way it was designed, if you don't build with good building materials, you don't follow due process, you are taking a risk that the house will collapse. And Ogun State does not want houses to be collapsing on its people. Because one life lost, you cannot recover it. So that agency was set up specifically to ensure that. So they go around ensuring that from your foundation, or from the foundation of the house, they start monitoring it. Now, the scripture says that if the foundation is
what can the righteous
do?
If
so
the foundation is destroyed,
Yoruba say it says now if the house is bad, it starts from the foundation. So that agency is saddled with that responsibility to ensure that houses are built, better built, resilient, and the houses do not collapse on people in Ogun State. Those things are very at the heart of the governor, and that was why the agency was set up. Now, the third one is the slum regeneration authority, which is the subject matter of our discourse this morning. And that agency was set up to look and renew our decaying or decayed settlements. You know that in Ogun State is more like a traditional state. So many towns in Ogun State, so many of our towns, they are old towns. Many of the past are already decaying or they have decayed. They lack so many things. Water, toilets, good access roads, no lights, and some of them were built, very, very old, and the structures are probably already collapsing. So that agency was set up to ensure that government can intervene in those communities, whatever they lack, that they will bring, into those communities in partnership with that communities themselves and with the private sector. So those are the three, the functions of those three agencies.
All right, the three agencies are good agencies that they are very, very needed in the state. But I want to talk about the last one because I feel that is closer to the society more than the other two. That is the Slum Regeneration Authority. Now, we see the waste management people with their vehicle, they park refuse from the roads and the rest. But one will be surprised when they park these nights. When you're coming in the morning again, you see heaps of refuse on the road. And there is one that I am still be surprised about. There is a street I know, very close and in a very popular place. I don't want to mention the area now. A street, and they are dumping refuse there. People live there, people pass there every day, and that it has been like that for a very long time. So I'm now thinking, is the ministry not aware of such places like that, and what can be done to eradicate this totally?
Well, thank you. Well, the issue of waste management is not the purview of my ministry.
About this
But
law?
I know that the state government is doing a yeoman's job
Okay.
in terms of waste management in Ogun State.
Okay.
Now let me refer to the one that you said.
Okay.
Now, refuse are not generated by spirits. They're generated by people. Now, for an effective waste management,
Okay.
the waste vehicle must be able to get into the internal areas to be able to evacuate those refuse.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, many of those internal areas are the old areas that lack good access road. People will probably park on the road and use their footpath to get to their houses, and these people generate refuse. There is no way that the Refuse Management Authority will get to those places with the big vehicles that they need to do it.
So they have to bring it
people have to
out.
bring it to the road, of course. But you see, the way our people do things is what is the thing that is very concerning. Now, people can't just put it into small bags, or you have small thing. You are going to the office, you are going to the market, just dump it on the road. People are supposed to pack these things neatly inside this black nylon bag, tie them neatly, and put them by the side of the road where the big waste truck will be able to pick it up. But our people just, you can't really understand. They just come, people dump in individual paper, individual bottles on the road. And that gives a lot of work, first, to the waste people. They have to be picking them one by one. Then two, by the time vehicles are moving and coming, or the wind is blowing, it keeps blowing those things further away. And that's why sometimes in some areas, you see that the place looks unkempt. It's just because of the way the refuse is being packaged by our people. So I think the plea to our people is that, yes, your area may not be accessible to the waste truck, but please get this black nylon bag. They are not very expensive. You can do them on the basis of household, because most of these areas, maybe these are face me, I face you areas. You can do on the basis of household, okay? Pack your refuse, tie them neatly, bring them to the side of the road, on the side of the road, and the waste truck will be able to pick it. I can tell you this government is doing a yeoman's job in refuse management, at least since the last 6 years of this. That is why, most of the areas that used to be unkempt, that used to be dirty, are better looking.
All right, that's a very good one there. But let's now focus on the ministry now. What are the specific areas that you've been able to target, and you can say you have positive results?
Well, when you say the ministry now, you are talking about the big thing. But like I said, our focus today is on the slum regeneration, urban renewal, which is very critical, like you said.
Yeah.
Now, what are the achievements? Now, the vision of that agency is, we call it regenerated slums and inner cities for improved livability and socio-economic improvement. Very big grammar. It's simply saying that what that agency is set out to do is to intervene in these, old communities and bring better environment there, so that people there will feel belong, to the society. Because if you go to those areas, it will appear as if government has forgotten them, that they are neglected. So the vision of that agency, the Slum Regeneration Authority, is to go into these communities, study them, and know their needs, and begin to intervene. So in the last few years, we have done quite a number of things. The first one is Itoku Ikija.
Okay.
That's along the Olumo Rock Avenue.
Yeah.
That place is one of the old areas of Ogun State. Now, government has invested money making that road, and we just thought that Ogun State needs to be looking into tourism as a revenue earner. And that area is where any people who comes to Abeokuta want to visit, want to go to Olumo. And the area is not really, very attractive. Now, you see, in tourism, what brings good economic development in tourism is that people will come to that environment. They will not just come and go that same day. They will come, stay 1 or 2 days, and do so many things. So the intention is that we want to make that area, an attractive place for people to come and stay, not go. And so we looked at that area, carried out the study, and then prepared what we call a tourism development plan for that area with Olumo Rock as the center. And we have a plan for that area.
Okay.
When we prepared that plan, we took it to the stakeholders in that community. They came, we showed it to them, and they all love it. So one of the interventions that has kickstarted that project is the renewal of Olumo Road that is going on now. You know, when the National Sports Fair was coming, the governor thought that one of the attractions would be people that want to come to Olumo, and so a lot of money was put there. In a very short time, the thing was upgraded. If you go to Olumo now, you would believe that that is the same Olumo that we used to go. Now, that has kickstarted the renewal of that area. Now, we have planned about 150 meters inside along that road, where we expect that there will be banks, there will be boutique hotels, there will be eatery, there will be shopping mall, there will be amala joint, there will be ofada joint, a lot of those things that will attract people so that they can come there. That's one of those things that we have done. And we are in the process of engaging the private sector to partner with us and partner with that community, to be able to do, because the truth is that it is those communities that those things are meant to benefit, initially. They have the properties there. The government is not taking over their properties, but if they want to develop, they have to develop along that plan that we have done, so that that place will be lifted up from the squalor that it is. We have gone to Ifo. We have studied Ifo. We carried out studies in Ifo, and we discovered that Ifo, lacks, a central focus, like a community center. They don't have organized market, and they don't even have, a traditional palace. So in partnership with the community there, we identified areas that we can use, and now there is a plan to do a Ifo Palace, to do a city center, a mall, a community center for them, as well as an organized market. This is in partnership with that Ifo development community. But that agency went in, carried out the studies, identified the needs, and then came up with a plan to do that, and we are already along that line. Thirdly, we've been to Iperu. Iperu also has a core area that we have intervened. One of the things we did there was to redesign the Akesmo market, through the intervention from the federal, that market has been rebuilt. Now we are trying to resuscitate some boreholes that are already moribund in that area, so that people there can have water supply. And these are the things we've been doing, over the years. We are intervening in Ijebu-Ode. We have carried out studies of the areas we identified. We have been to Ota. We've been to Isheri, that we have done. Shagamu. Up to date, in the last one or 2 years, we have discovered 20 new slum communities. We have mapped them. Before then, we had about 63. So all these things they require a process. First, you go there, you examine them, you discuss with the people, you identify what they need, not what we think they need. Because sometimes you will think they need public toilets, and they say, no, we don't need toilets, so we need water. So we go there and study with them, and then when they've agreed on what they need, then we'll now try to get the private sector to partner with us and partner with them, so that those things could be put there. And then again, we have prepared a list of what we call listed buildings. These are buildings of historical, architectural, and cultural significance, so that people cannot just go and decide to break them down, because they constitute our history, they constitute our culture, they constitute our indigenous art. So we have also completed that list, which we are going to present to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, so that together we ensure that these areas become part of the tourism agenda of the state, so that when people come, they will visit Olumo Rock, they will visit those other places, as a part of their experience. And of course, when people come for tourism, they drop money, which improves the economy of that area, and and on the larger scale, the Ogun State, revenue.
All right, so that was a comprehensive explanation. Wow, and that's great. But, you have mentioned what you're doing and what you're planning to do about those places. There are some things that I think you've done in the space of the 2 years that we need to talk about, like the Bara GRA is part of it. So let's mention some few things you've been able to achieve within the 2 years of this second term of Governor Abiodun's administration.
Well, thank you very much for bringing on Ibarra. I didn't mention Ibarra in the first instance because that is like a high-end part of it. Now, you have seen the handwork, of what urban regeneration, urban renewal, slum generation
Not just
will do.
me.
Everybody has
seen
seen it. If you go to Ibarra now, you won't believe that that is the Ibarra of 2 years ago, or Ibarra of 3 years ago. Like I said, what you do in urban renewal or slum generation is to do a study of those old areas and identify things that you need to do. Now, slum generation does not mean that you have to break down everything at the same time. You will choose the things that you can intervene in. And that is what this government has done through the Ministry of Housing in the Bara GRA. And the Bara GRA is just the beginning. Other GRAs like that will be touched. We're going to Ota GRA, Yabode GRA, we're going to Ilaro GRA to be able to intervene that these buildings that are no longer of serious economic value, that you bring them down and begin to do new things there. You now bring new road, you bring water, you bring light, and then begin to make the city look modern. You can imagine what that Bara used to look like. If you go there now, you know that modernity has come there, and that's the beginning. It's tip of the iceberg. In the past, the Ogun State government was doing this our yellow roof in a housing program for the we call them affordable housing. They are meant for the low and medium income. Again, we're now going also to the high income because the rich also cry. You can't say because they are rich, then government should not intervene in some of their own needs. And so that is why Bara GRA and all those GRAs are being upgraded, as it were. It's a beautiful thing that this government is doing through our governor, President Abiodun. And those are the agencies of a good government. A government that is focused on improving the lives of his people, on improving the economy of the state.
Okay, before my next question, I would like that we'll go for a short break right now. Then after the break, I have another question from what you've just said.
My own advice to everybody in the state is to do our own best too. If we are in an area that the government has not, they've not seen the presence of the government, we as a community should put more effort to make sure our roads and the way we will construct building, we should not obstruct the road, to make sure our roads are good. For instance, outside this my house, when you get there, if there's any problem, maybe there is weeds or there is erosion, I will control it myself. If everybody should curtail the habit of making your area good, so the government will have less to do. So my own advice to everybody is just to take care of this area till the presence of the government shows. So, and I know by the time, in no time, we will see the good result.
Okay, Okay, you're welcome back. It's still Roundtable, reaching you from People's Tele, OGTV. And the Honorable Commissioner is still right here. And I know that you have been listening and also seeing some things that has been done in the past 2 years of the second term of this administration. Okay, Honorable Commissioner, you mentioned that Ibarra is one of it. Now, you know, we still have some more estates that are being developed in Ogun State, like Muhammadu Buhari estates and some other ones. Now, can you just elaborate on the scope of the timeline of the urban renewal in that place?
In which place specifically?
The
PNB?
Muhammadu Buhari estate.
Well, a city keeps growing. You can't set timeline for when a city will grow.
Because Muhammadu Buhari estate is, to me, it's peculiar to this state because of the area where it is situated. You know, when people are coming into the state, they see that place. So I will love, I don't know for another person, that place develop very quickly.
Well, thank you very much. Muhammad Buhari will not come under urban renewal. That's a new area entirely.
Okay.
So that's a new, completely new estate, new town that they are building there. So it's not part of urban renewal.
Okay.
Yes, you are right. That place is strategic. And when anybody is coming to Abeokuta, that is where they see. But I'm not too sure that you are very observant. You will see that houses are already growing up in the place.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Now, that is part of the initiative of this government, of this governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, because you know sometimes for PMB, that is President Muhammad Buhari estate, is a high-end residential estate, and of course, like I said, the rich must also be helped to facilitate building, for them. But the government should not be doing that. The government can be doing that for the low and the medium income, where actually government subsidizes the house in so many ways.
We'll still come to that.
But in those areas, the only thing the government can do is to be a facilitator, to bring in the private sector to come and invest in those houses, because it is meant for those who are high, who probably will be able to afford it. So the private sector comes, invests their money, and then sell the building to people. So that is how Muhammadu Buhari can develop. It's a different thing if you are talking about a Kemta, housing estate. You are talking about Kobakwe housing estate, which the government had, and they, of course, Ibarra, part of Ibarra, which the government had to do by itself in order to be able to cushion, the cost.
Yeah, let's talk about those ones too, the Kemta and the Kobakwe.
Well, one of the things, one of the very first things that this governor did, when he came, is this, yellow roof revolution. It's not only in housing, it's in the health, it's in education. You see, when you see a yellow roof, that is the brand of this administration. But one of the things that the government or the governor himself, because he's the leader of the government, came, had in mind, was to provide affordable housing for people. Now, if you look at that name, affordable housing, that means house that is affordable. Now, there's no cheap housing. The cost of iron rod, the rich and the poor, when they go to the market, nobody gives them different prices for iron rod. It's the price they will sell it to the rich that they will sell to the poor. Cement.
Sometimes it depends on your level of bargaining.
If you bargain till tomorrow, right? The person who is selling will not sell below his cost price, and has to put his profit. Now, what I'm saying is that no house is cheap, but the only way the poor or the low income earners up to the medium, civil standard and whatever, can own such houses is for the government to subsidize them. Now, how will government subsidize? Of course, like I said, the price of cement, the price of iron rod is the same. Government has to buy them. Okay, but there are other components of that kind of a housing scheme. You have the road, what you call the infrastructure, your water, electricity. If you add those costs to the cost of building the house itself, 95% of the low income, medium income earners can never afford those houses. So what the government does is to take the cost of the infrastructure and bear it. As subsidy for people who are at that level to be able to afford those houses, because they too, need such houses, to be able to, actualize
scale their lives.
of course, their purpose. So the government has to come in to do that, and that is what this government has done in Kenta, in Kobape, in Shagamu, in Iperu, in Ilaro, in Ijebu-Ode, in Ota, all over Ogun State. The government is building these affordable, houses for people, so that our people can also live in such organized, environment, so that they can also, be at peace with themselves and be able to actualize their purpose in life. That is one of the greatest achievements of this government. It's all over the place. As at the moment, must have built close to about 4,000 of those housing units all over Ogun State. And
are they all being occupied?
Yes.
Because you said affordable housing.
Yes.
I wanted to ask that, how affordable? Affordability is in context.
Yes.
So how affordable are these houses?
Well, they are affordable. Why are they called affordable? Is because they are subsidized
by the government.
By the government. The cost of infrastructure is virtually zero. So what people are buying are those houses. When the thing started, those houses, 2 bedrooms and whatever, cost about maybe about 5 million.
Okay.
5 million for a house, complete, like that, is quite cheap, because the cost of infrastructure is not there. So, but what now happens is that government now brought in mortgage, particularly for, income earners. For those who are on salary, they brought mortgage. So you have to go through the gateway mortgage bank, so that you don't have to come and bring Ghana must go to buy to buy the houses, because of course, so if somebody is earning salary, he can only, spend part of the salary, to take care of his housing needs. So, but because he cannot afford to bring out the money at the same time, he now have to go through mortgage, so that they will pay the money little by little. That's also one of the things that this government has done to make those houses affordable to people. If you go there now, there are beautiful places. People are living there. Some still have them there and are still trying to, some people will come and want to jazz up their houses, to say, okay, I want to make my own house to
put
be.
some finishing touches.
Yeah. So, but you need to go there. Okay. And this government is not stopping. We are still building more and more. For instance, in Kinta, they are doing either phase 3. In Kobape, they are doing phase 3 because those houses were snapped up by people.
Okay, that's what I want to ask. That if you want out of those houses, what are the processes? You said we'll go to mortgage bank. Who are those that are qualified?
Well, like I said, first you have to go to the Ministry of Housing, to go and express your intention by taking the application form. You fill it. Of course, you have to put information there, what you do, what your salary, and whatever. And of course, mortgage is for you to be able to pay little by little. Now, there is a threshold, that if you are not up to this salary, you cannot pay for those houses.
That's why I said, who are those qualified?
Yeah, I just told you. Well, I can't say this is the
limit.
Yeah, because in those places there are 1 bedroom.
Okay.
There are 2 bedrooms.
It depends on what you want.
Yes, depending on your pocket.
Okay.
You may want 3 bedrooms and your need is only 1 bedroom.
Okay.
What you can afford,
Okay.
But the only intention of that housing program is to ensure that virtually everybody, has access into it.
Over their head.
Yes, if you are levels 1 to maybe 5 or 6 or 7, maybe 1 bedroom, 7 to 8 to 9 to 10, maybe 2 bedrooms, and then you can have the 3 bedrooms. So, but the intention is that, and the objective is that everybody across the salary strata will have access into it.
Okay, now, this plans that has been put down for all the places you've been mentioning, Ifo, Iperu, Itoku, the rest, and you have them already in the process, and the government is on it already. The challenges, I know there will be challenges here and there that you would have faced in achieving or even in planning all these things. Can you mention some few challenges?
Oh, of course, life comes with challenges. You have, first and foremost, having to deal with people. People's attitude very difficult to change. You know, like change is a difficult thing, but change we must. So the first thing we were confronted with is the need to change people's attitude. Now, hitherto, let me take the example of getting planning permit before you build. People used to just go and just do whatever they like. They will build on road, they will build on drainage, blocking gutters, and then when rain comes, there is flooding, and then destroys people's property. People in your area, you will build like this. Somebody will come and build right onto the road, and then your road becomes narrow. A lot of so many things. And then, so trying to intervene, we had some resistance, because if you go up there and we want to check you and you're not doing the needful, it's either we seal up your building, and then, we have a lot of resistance, but the good news is that people are getting used to it, that we must do things in the right way. I tell people, I said, okay, if you know Obasanjo Hilltop, if you know Ibarra, you know Oshoba Hilltop, beautiful places. The difference between that and some other areas of the state is because those places were planned and people follow the plan. It's not rocket science. So our appeal to our people is that people, before you build, if you are a landowner, Omonile for instance, do a layout. Okay, get the approval for the layout and follow the layout. If you follow the layout, there will be no problem of somebody blocking the road or blocking the drainage and creating problem for people. So we had that problem, and like I said, our people are already responding.
Getting used to it.
Yes, of course, even for governments, we need a lot of manpower to be able to do it, because the job of planning is like a police action. You have to be there every day, every day. This government has supported that ministry maximally. The governor has always responded to our requests, but like we said, we need more, because Ogun State is developing very, very rapidly. We are the industrial capital of Nigeria now. We are becoming the economic powerhouse of Nigeria. If you have seen the news, or if you have heard the news, we are taking over from Lagos, and those things come with their challenges. They need to deal with the population, where they will live and all whatnot. And so we always respond to that, as those problems come. So our appeal to our people is that people should just, respond to us, follow our lead, so that Ogun State can develop in a very orderly manner.
Okay, how has this administration been working with the local stakeholders? I mean, the community leaders and residents and the rest in the urban renewal projects?
Well, thank you. Well, I told you, for instance, I mentioned those areas that we have
like
worked.
Itoku,
Ikija, Ifo. You can't shave somebody's head behind the person. Yes, we have said the place is not good looking. Right, and we say we want to give you toilet, and the people say, we don't want toilet, we want
and of course they do not invite you to come and
to come there. so you must be able to convince them, and then they must be able to tell you this is what they need. So you take in that their need and build it into your plan, and that's what we do. We have always done in all those places we have intervened. Like I told you, when we did the Itoku Ikija, we had to go to inside Lulumo, the hall there, and we brought the community and presented the plan, to them, and they accepted the plan. And that makes it easier to implement, because if you don't factor them in and you come and do your own, you do a toilet, they'll be looking at it, and they'll still be doing their own thing. So we engage the communities anywhere we want to intervene. The same thing we did in Ifo, the same thing we did in Ilaro, Okeola, and all whatnot. So the community, very, very critical. In that agency I mentioned, the Slum Generation Authority, we actually have a department that is called Community Relation and External Intervention. Community relations and external intervention. They are the ones who go and call the community together and say, this is what we want to do. Now, what we do first is to go there, do our own study. We think this is what is good for them. We prepare our plans, and then we take it to them. And then we begin to adjust those plans based on their needs. So community engagement and intervention, very, very critical in our operations to ensure success.
Okay, all these things that you've been saying, the achievements, the things you've put together, and what they are still in the process of achieving. Now, what are the plans put in place to ensure long-term sustainability of the urban renewal projects, the ones you've been able to achieve and the ones you still want to do?
Well, sustainability is if you want anything to succeed over the long haul, you have to build in sustainability into it. Now, sustainability is not just something from the sky. It's about people. It's about partnerships. Now, what this government has done in terms of planning there in Ogun State, including urban renewal, slum generation, is to build in that structure. And then it has, it cascades down in terms of, the functions, and the actors, those who will do it. Now, these are mainly public servants, who I can tell you have bought into this vision and are already keen to it. So they are the ones that are going to drive it into the future. If they don't own it and they don't drive to the future, then the thing will just just fizzle out and nothing will happen. So we have people that are trained and being retrained every day, trying to stay the course, in trying to be focused, and then we keep our intervention with the communities. Not quite long ago, one of our agencies had been going around, to communities, inviting ballers, KBCs, to what we call town hall meetings, to sell the visions to them, why they need to embrace it, and the benefits that are accruing to them. So long term, I'm very hopeful that beyond this administration, what we have set up as a system, as a structure, will continue to push into the future.
Okay, let's now talk about plans to expand the urban renewal program to the areas apart from the ones you have mentioned. Do you have plans to extend this renewal to some other areas in the state?
Oh, yes. It's a continuous thing. You can't finish the job in one day. You can't. Ogun State is very big, very extensive, and there are many towns, old towns in Ogun State. So, so many that I told you, now we have characterized about 63 of them. 63. Now, those 63, to even intervene in them, to make them good is a lot of work in itself. But we keep, going around, doing our studies, using technology to discover some of these areas. Like I said, one of the key functions of this slum regeneration authority is to continuously identify slum areas, blighted areas in the state, go and study them and put in place, things to make them, better places. Like I said, it's not only government, it's the community itself, and then it's the private sector. So, but government will be the enabler. Government will be the one that will carry out the studies. It will be the one that will say, this is the way to go. And then the community will buy into it. And then the private sector will come in to come and do some of those things in partnership with the community. For instance, if you go to some areas that, okay, this is the house, partly all those small houses, a private sector can come together and can come to and say, look, why don't you, these families, join together? Let's do this kind of development. Now, I will develop it for you. Okay, this is your house. Okay, we'll give you maybe flats on top, and then on the bottom, we'll be doing business. After 25 years, the property comes back to your family and becomes your own. That's kind of model that we are working, bringing the private sector to go themselves, to the communities based on the plan that we have prepared, and then with the assurance that government is aware of it, government knows about it, and government is backing it up. To give assurance to those communities that those private sector people are not out there to come and take property away from them. And that's the assurance that the government provides in this kind of initiative.
You have mentioned like 63 now. Do you see the all 63 coming into reality before the end of this administration?
Oh, no, it's not possible.
Okay.
It's not possible. What we do is to have a book, like a record, to have said, we have studied this, these are the things that they need to do. So we keep doing them one after the other. But the interesting thing is that even before we get some of them will have renewed themselves by themselves. maybe let me explain. Now, you have some areas that are it's already bad. It's already a slum. Now somebody comes there, buys the property from the owners. He has developed it. So even before government will come to come and intervene, there is this organic renewal that goes on that people will do. So the government may not actually need to come into all of them, but what we need to do is to classify them, characterize them, and list them. And then the ones government will think is critical, out of all of them, government will intervene directly. The one that we think that, this will require a lot of private sector involvement, will involve them. And then by the time we go through this process, within the next 2 years, that we have sensitized the community themselves can actually come up with a plan to develop their community. It's not government alone. Based on what we have set up, the community themselves, based on sensitization, this community engagement can actually come and say, come, this is our community, we want to do it, and want to do the plan by ourselves. They can go and engage a consultant to do it for them, and then bring it to us for approval, and then they can do it on their own. So it's not only government that will be the initiator.
Is it that simple?
It is. If you have somebody that is knowledgeable in those communities, and I can tell you, many of those communities, they have people who have gone out, who already know what is good for them. Such people can even be our agents indirectly to go and say, my people, this area is not good. Why don't you do this? And we'll go to government, and government will give us all the necessary guidance. And then, those things will be done.
All right. Thank you so much. I know that we cannot finish everything under that ministry today. But before we go, what do you have to tell Ogun State's people about all these things you've mentioned and the ones in the process?
Well, thank you. I've mentioned part of it. All we require, is people's cooperation. That people will know that we are doing this. Whatever we do is not for ourselves; it's for the betterment of the people. To make sure that our people live in better organized environment, that will make sure that they can live healthy life. So we want cooperation from people. When you see our people come there, it's not because we want to come and hurt you. It's because we want you to do the things in the right way. The truth is that it is you that will benefit from it, largely in the long run. So we want people to cooperate with us. People should obey the regulations. People should obey the laws. They should follow due process before they build their houses. Let them come and take approval. Let them come and take permit. When they do that, nobody will come and be saying, why did you build this house? And then when they take approval or permit, let them follow it. Because some people will take approval for bungalow and then they go and build petes, go and build 2 floors, which may actually collapse because you never know how they built those houses. So we only need cooperation with people. When they see our people properly identified, we should cooperate with them. Our people have been trained to put them through about what they need to do, to be able to get their properties approved. And for those who are living in those slum communities, when our people come, it is for your benefit.
Okay.
It is for your benefit. It is not for us. It's for your benefit so that your environment could be upgraded, could be improved, for you to live better life, even when the city keeps growing.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Commissioner, for featuring on this program today, because I know a lot have been learnt. Even me, I have learnt a lot this morning, and I know a lot too that the Ministry of Urban Renewal Development under this administration has really achieved what they have achieved, what they are doing, and it's a great one. I have to commend you for that. Kudos to the ministry. So now we have to wrap it up because our time is fast spent. Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development in Ogun State, Town Planner Tunji Odulami, thank you for coming.
Thank
we
you
really
very much.
appreciate you.
It's
Until the next episode, make sure you approve your your house before building it. Bye for now. The installer Ogunbadewa is my name. See you next week. you.